Hello, I wanted to talk about my experience with Emily and my Akashic Records reading. First of all, it was incredible, and she opened my mind to so many things about me and my calling and my personality that I could tune into and tap into. One of the main things that she uncovered for me is that a lot of the goals I've been setting have been very safe, and that I haven't been really stretching my mindset to think about the ultimate scary goals, because a lot of the times I will put up a safe goal that I know is achievable, and that gets me even right underneath that. So I was able to really think outside of the box. I started really thinking beyond what I thought was possible with my goals, and I've been doing this in every step of my life, and it's helping things really quickly propel into becoming a reality. So many things have become possible just because I was able to stretch my mindset beyond what I think is possible. But the main thing that has changed for me is I'm able to really manifest things a lot quicker, and things have been just rapidly happening in that way. So Emily is insanely talented. She will zone right in with you and help you really identify the things that are holding you back.
Welcome. My timing was just slightly off there. I was so excited. Backstage. Excited to come be with you all. Welcome to the 4/9 episode of Akashic Answers with Emily. Whether you are coming in here voluntarily or you are stumbling into this space, you are meant to be here. We are going to jam together in our Akashic Records for the next half hour, calling in energy transmissions, insight from the Akashic Records that will help us during these times of uncertainty. Anybody feeling the uncertainty out there? Let me know in the comments if you're feeling the uncertainty. Let me know if you're feeling the stress, the anxiety, the overwhelm. Right now, we are reprogramming so many of our default programs within our bodies, meaning our nervous systems. We're reprogramming our thought patterns and noticing the thoughts that come up. Kaylin talked about this on the intro video there, playing small. Playing small comes from thoughts of not being good enough or being afraid that we're not going to succeed, being afraid that what we have isn't valuable to add to the planet. So many of us are in fear mindset right now, and we are going to get out of it together here today. Yes, Lisa Lee Boutique in the house. Why do I love the Akashic Records so much? Well, I'm going to tell you. First of all, let me just introduce myself if this is the first time we are meeting. My name is Emily Harrison. I'm the founder, director here inside the Akashic Academy. I work with visionaries and thought leaders, training them to tap into their Akashic Records, learning how to read the Akashic Records so they can overcome previous limitations and tap into their unique creative genius. Because every single one of us has something very important to share here with the planet. You wouldn't be here. Your soul would not have volunteered to be here during this time if you are not taking part in the bigger evolutionary shift that's happening on our planet right now. Okay, so if you are new to the Akashic Records hold all intelligence, past, present, all possible futures, and is recorded from a neutral perspective. So every single detail about everything. It's a super conscious intelligence. All right, this is the God mind. This is the primordial energy, ether. Or I should say Akash is a Sanskrit word that means ether. Ether is primordial energy. It's the energy that holds all the possibility. Okay, also known as collective consciousness. You following me? This is a vast etheric library of intelligence. The intelligence inside the Akashic Records is recorded from a neutral perspective, which means a perspective of unconditional love and zero judgment. And the records hold an account of each and every one of our soul's journey through time. So when we can learn how to tap in and read our soul record, we begin to understand things like what our life lessons are, how to master them. Okay, why I feel like the planet needs the Akashic Records so much in this modern time is that it can be confusing to figure out what role we are each individually playing in this bigger shift of consciousness. But I guarantee you are playing a role. And it's imperative that you know that you understand what that role is. Okay, not only do the Akashic Records help us understand what our mission is, what our contribution to society is at this time, the records also help give us wisdom and guidance on our day-to-day life. because the challenges that we are all experiencing in our day-to-day life, we all have them, these challenges are data that reveal what our patterns are, what our soul is here to learn. And the Akashic Records help us to understand what that is so we can walk with more intelligence in our life. The records also opens up our mind to stop judging ourselves, stop judging humanity, to love ourselves, and to find solutions that will get us out of any challenge that we've created for ourselves. And the world is in chaos right now. You might not think that you created it. We all created it, right? Or you might be on the flip side of that coin where I said, maybe you don't think you created it. I mean, you pass the blame off to the leaders, poor leadership in our government, in our on the bigger scale. But no, we can't do that, because the collective reality that we are experiencing is coming from a projection within each one of us. Okay. It's coming from a vibrational frequency within each one of us. So our work on the planet right now is to do our own shadow work, cleansing the darkness, the shadow, the areas where we, one place small where there's a part of our shadow that we learn and grow through here on the planet, where truly we are the asshole. We consciously inflict our power and our will upon others, and it doesn't go so good. Our soul, this is designed to be a learning ground where our soul can move through that experience and learn that that's not the best way. Okay, Earth is a school for the consciousness where we come to learn to transmute our shadow. And as each one of us learn to transmute our own shadow, take responsibility for that, your shadow can also be your patterns. Okay, your shadow is any part of you that you've disowned. Don't look at. It's not in the conscious part of your awareness. It's in your subconscious, or it's below your awareness, right? That's why your soul comes here to learn, to bring that which is in that which is below your awareness into awareness, so you can understand self. You can work with your energy. Tia Han in the house. That's fun to see. Hi, baby. Cool. Celestial Lightworker too. Greetings, Emily and fellow travelers. Yes, please say hello to me once you get here. It helps blow up the algorithms and helps our social media friends push this out so more and more of us can be here together. Peter in the house. Love it. Ravina here too. Yes, Ravina, thank you for starting to ask the questions. All right. I'm gonna get going here so we can get to the questions part of our time together. This is why I love using the Akashic Records. I have not always known how to read the Akashic Records. Before I did this work, I was a Hollywood actress. On the outside, my life looked really cool. On the inside, I was falling the F apart. I was depressed. I had, challenges in being a young mom. I had challenges in my marriage. I had confusion about my life purpose, my mission, and I couldn't figure it out until I found the Akashic Records. And once I started reading my own records, life started making sense. The depression that I had created for myself made sense. I was able to uncreate that. Okay. The challenges that I was experiencing as a mom came from ancestral things that I got to go back and heal. And it was just so freaking amazing that I knew there was, wait, let me not confuse you by putting that up there. I knew that there was no story. I mean, I loved doing movies and TV in Los Angeles and Hollywood. I loved storytelling. I loved being a part of inspiring stories. But y'all, when I learned how to read the Akashic Records and this intelligence that previously was not available to me became available to me. The empowerment, the confidence, the joy, the embodiment of expression that is each one of our divine right as humans became possible for me. And I knew that there was no story in Hollywood that I could be a part of that was as inspiring as a story of human potential. And I wanted to share the Akashic Records. Furthermore, not just reading the records for you, but teaching others that you too can read your Akashic Records. Every single human on the planet comes programmed with the technology to read your own Akashic Records. All right, so here are some examples of great questions that you can ask your Akashic Records. I'm just going to leave these up here for a moment. If you are wanting to ask a question on today's show and you're not sure what to ask, you can scroll up through the comments and you'll see some of the recommendations on how to use the Akashic Records to ask questions. But that's what I'm excited to share with you all today, is the power of the records, how they work. So light up my chat box with your questions. I am going to ask Spirit to bring my awareness to the questions that will allow learning and growth for all of us here today. You did just jump right in, but I'm going to go right to your question, Ravina. I love it. That means that you've been here before and you know how we roll. All right. So be like Ravina. Come on in. Light up the chat box with the questions. Okay. So here's how it's going to go. I am going to tap in and channel insight for each of the individual questions. And if the intelligence that comes through feels like it's for you, your body's responding, you're getting aha moments, you're lighting up, it is for you. Receive it like it is for you, even if you are not the person who asked the question. All right, and then we're also going to bring through some energy transmissions that will help us activate our DNA, embody more of our power and energy here together. You're going to experience all of these energy activations and transmissions for free. We just get to hang out here together Wednesday and get lit up. And stay for the end of the show because I've got a little something special for you that I'm going to share at the end. All right. Ravina says, what am I here to learn from my current situation? All right, Ravina. So I want you to pull up in your mind the situation, the specific situation that you're talking about. You don't have to bring that into the container today, but that's going to allow me to tap in further and see what your guides have to say. Okay. 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 Cool. All right. So, Ravina, first of all, thank you very much for framing this question in this way. Everybody send some love likes hearts across the screen for Ravina. It can be challenging to show up in a space like this and say, what am I here to learn? Because you know they're about to go whoosh. No, just kidding. The Akashic Records are very compassionate, very graceful, very compassionate. I said that already. Very gentle. They allow us to learn in a way that is in alignment with our highest good and the highest good of everyone connected to us. All right. So Ravina, the first thing that your guides wanted to share about the situation that you're in is it's ancestral. So it didn't start with you. It actually feels like it's coming down through the maternal lineage. So through your mother line. And it is presenting now for you in these moments because you have the keys, the genetic keys to clear this. All right. So a lot of you might be feeling and noticing, you might be feeling energy move through your body. You might be feeling like, oh, hang on a second. She's talking to me here, because we're definitely working, especially this week, the guides are saying, with clearing our ancestral lineage. And I'll share with you a quick story about what that's looking like for me, because it's coming up for me too. But all of us are working to clear ancestral lineage. You might not be working with your maternal lineage. You might be working with paternal or the masculine lineage. All right. And you have the keys. This is the plural you. We have the keys to solve these ancestral negative evolutionary patterns from moving forward. How do we stop them? First, we acknowledge them. We acknowledge where they are within us. And we rewrite that. You overwrite it. Which means, all right, so you recognize the pattern that's coming up within you. So the pattern that I'm working with right now is overworking. And my 15-year-old daughter has overworked herself to the point where she's sick now. And she's been sick for a couple of weeks. She's tested negative for everything that the doctors test you for, and still sick. Okay. I know exactly what this is, and I know where she got it. Oh man, wait. I am 47. I like that flapping. Did you see that flapping? It's probably one of the reasons we don't point. All right. All right. So one of the things that I'm learning is that this pattern comes from me. So I'm taking ownership, responsibility of it. Then I'm asking myself, how do I correct this in myself, but also create different culture here in my family where she doesn't feel like her worth and value is related to working so hard that she's burning the candle at both ends, right? Okay. All right. So anybody who feels like they are working through their own ancestral clearing right now, maybe it's a different lesson. Maybe yours isn't overwork. Maybe it's scarcity around something else. But if you are currently working on ancestral clearing and you're able to identify it from this conversation, let me know. I want to hold space for you. Okay, let me tap in now and see what the guides, have to say about medicine, energy medicine that we can. Okay. Yep, they're going directly to the sacral chakra. This is the womb area. This is where we hold unprocessed emotion. Okay. Let me make myself some notes here. Hang on. Ancestral clearing. We have the keys. Sacral work. Okay. All right. So into the sacral. The sacral chakra is where we store unprocessed emotion. Okay. Yep. My ladies are here feeling the ancestral clearing. All right. I was able to see where, yep, Dodie said too, unhealed karma inherited from our parents. Yes, yes, yes. And sometimes we can put our own fun little spin on it just to make it even more dysfunctional. Dodie. Or we can heal it, right? We're either going to make it worse, we're going to intensify it, or we're going to shift it and heal it. All right. All right, so the guides want us to work first in the sacral. This is where we store unprocessed emotion. And this is the access point to our power. It's where we've actually given away our powers by not processing our emotions. All right, so I'm going to bring in an activation. If you want to receive it by proxy, you can type yes in the comments right now. Using the Om vibrational frequency of my tuning fork to bring in safety and love into the sacral that will allow us to process those unprocessed emotions. Now, here's the thing. You want to get your unprocessed emotions all out of there. You want to shoo them all out. But most of us don't really want to feel them. All right. But here's the thing. Once we release it, that's how they get out. They come up. You face and feel them. You don't attach to them. Okay. If you don't attach to your emotion, it's going to last about 90 seconds. Okay. Emotion lasts about 90 seconds. Anything beyond that is self-induced suffering, which means we've attached ourselves to the story of victimhood that comes along with that emotion. All right. So as we do this work together, notice that you're going to feel things that come up this week. That's okay. That does not mean that you have regressed. That means that you are healing. Type in the comments, feeling my emotions means I'm healing. One of my biggest lessons that I got in the month of whatever the last month was, March, because I overworked my damn self hard in March, y'all. I thought I did 3 back-to-back events until I pulled back a little more, and then I'm like, oh crap, I did 4 back-to-back events. Here was one of the biggest lessons that I learned. It's not, and it wasn't actually about overworking. I learned a lot of lessons about overworking. But this lesson came from a Native American sweat lodge ceremony from our fire tender, reminding us that we come programmed with 2 natural medicines within us. One is your laughter. The other is your tears. Okay. Yes. Feeling my emotions means I'm healing. Feeling my emotions means I'm healing. Is that the name of the book? Oh, great book, Letting Go by David Hawkins. I thought the name of the book was Feeling My Emotions Means I'm Healing. Cool. All right. Excellent work, everyone. Actually, we're going to do a little bit more there. We're going to work on the root chakra as well, because a lot of us can feel unsafe feeling emotions. It can be it's very much programmed into society, especially if you're a guy, a dude, that crying is not cool. Okay. And even for women too, we all suppress our emotions generally so others around us feel more comfortable. And so feeling safe, feeling our emotions, trusting ourselves to feel our emotions, trusting others to be able to hold space and frequency for our emotions. All right. So programming, or I should say, reprogramming the root chakra to feel safe expressing emotions. You can also feel safe witnessing other people's emotions. Okay. Practice that too. Because a lot of us, when we see other people going into their emotional state, if we've had other people in our lives, moms, dads, partners who flipped the F out with their emotions, not to say that I did that, Eva. I don't know about you. You flipped out. I didn't flip. No. I have been known to be an emotional flipper outer, to be perfectly honest with you. Like lose my shit style emotion. So I've had to learn to master the emotional body, learn to cultivate, to strengthen, to heal my emotional body so she's not flying off the handle. All right, it's a symptom of trauma. But sometimes our trauma can get triggered when we witness someone else in their trauma. And so that safety activation that we just did is going to help you guys with that. All right, so make sure you type yes, give your permission to receive that root chakra, that safety activation if you want to receive that today. All right, we're going to go into some more questions here. What else we got? Peter Voras, how would I be able to get clarity around a monumentous decision for my business? I need to find some answers as to whether or not to expand or to make a current situation better. All right, so Peter, let me tap in, see what you guys have to say for you. Good, speaking to crossroads. Okay, cool. Here's what the guides want to share with you, Peter. And this is going to be great for anybody else who is in decision-making mode. If you're in decision-making mode or you have a decision to make, just type decision-making mode for me in the comments and I will hold space for you. Clarity. Yes, Peter. First of all, just like asking the question, did you understand that? Good. You're welcome. All right. Back to Peter's question. One thing that the guides want to compliment you on, Peter, is that the nature of our consciousness can be measured by the questions that we ask. Okay. And so the fact that you're asking about how do I get clarity around a decision, excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Because that's really the crux of what you need. Only you can make the decision, and you're only going to feel comfortable making the decision if the decision is made from a place of clarity, peace, certainty, and alignment. That's what we want to feel. We want to all feel that level of confidence in making a decision. So asking about how to create a condition of clarity is a great thing. And that's what we want to focus on. If you are in making a decision right now in your life, you want to focus on how you keep your vessel very clear of distortion. I would say the first thing, don't watch the news right now, y'all, because what happens is the news is going to feed uncertainty about the future of humanity, about what's happening out there. It's also going to invite you into judgment. And judgment and uncertainty will clog your vessel of clarity. All right. So anywhere where you are judging yourself, whether you are judging other people, if you want to be crystal clear in your own thought processes and have that sense of knowingness and confidence about a direction that you're going, you can't be in judgment of yourself or other people. Okay. It will distort the crap out of your field. All right. Makes sense? Type yes in the comments if this is making sense. Cool. Okay, so for clarity, you want to get the distortion out of your field. Clarity is mostly about subtraction, the guides are saying. Oh, fuck, that's good. Clarity is our natural state. That's why when it comes to ways that you can use the body to test a crossroad or different decisions, muscle testing, applied kinesiology, which I'll talk a little bit about more in a second, is a really cool way to get information from your body. But the reason that we do this muscle testing and we test our body for intelligence is because the mind gets distorted. And the mind, the monkey mind, can lose its state of natural divine clarity. That's your natural state. So if you keep the things that distort your natural state away, out of your field, you're going to maintain crystal clear clarity. Okay. You can also do meditations that bring in clarity. I would advise everybody to do that. If you are a member of my monthly community program called The Ether, we meditated in the Akashic Records this week to bring in clarity. Or it might have been with my Akashic Records students. Can't remember exactly. I've meditated a lot this week, y'all, with a lot of people. Okay. Called in a lot of transmissions. Let me say that. And clarity has been big on the agendas for our guides to support us with this week. Okay. So those are the guides' advice on clarity. Peter, now they want to talk a little bit about the applied kinesiology in terms of which direction to go forward. All right, so you can ask the question: is expanding the business in the high? Take two. Is expanding the business in alignment with my highest potential timeline? And then you do the muscle testing. We practiced this a couple weekends ago, Peter, when you were at the immersion, right? When we were getting other information around my table. So you, again, remember, you want to calibrate. I am Peter. I am Emily. I'll do it for you. I am Emily. It's going to stay strong. I am Peter. And it goes through. So you want to calibrate first. Everybody can do this themselves, calibrate it. And then you want to ask the question, is expanding the business in alignment with my highest potential timeline? And you can ask, okay? And then ask the other question too. Or I can't remember what the other version was. So that's one thing that you can do if you want to get intelligence from your body. All right. I'll be honest with you guys. It's not my favorite way. I think applied kinesiology, muscle testing is cool. I like to keep the relationship with my mind very clear so I can get the intelligence straight from my mind. All right. And so what that looks like, Peter, and this is an application for the Akashic Records. For those of you who know how to read your Akashic Records, you can do this for yourself. For those of you who do not know how to read your Akashic Records, you'll need to hire somebody to do this for you. But you can go into your Akashic Records and you can look at both timelines. You can look at what's going to happen in my life if I choose to expand the business. All right. Or what's going to happen in my life if I were to sell the business or to make the current situation better, whatever the two choices are. And a good reader, and if you are a good reader, which I can make you one if you want to be, it's not that challenging. What you'll begin to see is what your life looks like, good and bad. And it's not really bad. It's just the challenges you're going to experience. Okay. In one particular timeline versus what am I going to experience in this other timeline? And which one do I choose? Which one makes me happier right now? See, that just provides, for me, that provides more information than the body muscle testing. But both of those are ways that you could work to get those answers. All right, so the guide wants to bring in an activation around clarity for us right now. So we're going to be working on the third eye. And I want you to imagine distortion falling away from your field as you receive this activation. Remember, the guide said the biggest thing we can recognize about clarity right now, if we want to keep our fields clear, is subtraction. What can you get rid of? Judgment, news, fear, anxiety, uncertainty. Okay? So I want you to imagine right now all of those negative patterns those negative thought forms crumbling around you, losing their power. The power of uncertainty as it circulates here around the planet. Just disengage that energy right now. Actually doing powerful planetary work. Thank you all. Disengage the mechanisms for of fear, uncertainty, confusion. Yes, drama, judgment. Disengaging all of these mechanisms. Disengaging. Okay, I'm going to move this energy through all of the chakras. Good. Disengaging those old programs, disengaging them forward and backward through time. Ooh, that's a little bigger than I thought. Happily buzzing here. All right. Ooh, let me know what you guys were feeling on that one. All right. So we talked about being at a crossroads. How to know what to do. All right. Let's get one more question in here. It's 12:30. I like to hang out. I like to hang out with you all a little longer. All right, let's get one more question in here. Paula says, I might not be able to stay on. Yes, please come back and catch the replay. James, I'm glad you're here. It is a beautiful day of unlimited potentials. All right, let's see. I gotta find one more question in here. Okay, yes, Celestial Lightworker, curious. Can we receive attunements or energies to assist moving forward? My ancestral clearing has to do with weight retention. Yes, Celestial Lightworker. Let me see what the guides have to say specifically. Okay, I'm just asking about information about the weight that we're holding on to, the weights that we're holding on to. Yes. Okay, the weight that we're holding on to is around guilt and shame. Okay. I noticed a pattern within myself that came up from as a little girl around shame that I haven't worked on healing or clearing them from. Like, oh, there's a new one. All right, let's get in there. So the guides want to bring in an activation of light right now that will illuminate an area where we can all further release shame from childhood, something that's in some way that you were ashamed of yourself. Okay. Time to release that. So you just want to imagine white light. White light is some of the most potent healing light that we can call in. I'm not going to explain all the quantum science behind it right now. Just bring it in. Hold white light. And whatever that childhood memory of shame is that you're experiencing, or whatever's coming up for you right now, the guides will take you into a perfect place where you need to work. Heal this. Good. Okay. So if you are feeling heavy, like you're holding on to weight, like you're dragging weight that's not yours, that you want to let go of, shame is where to look. Okay. Let it invite it to come up. Angels, guides, Akashic Records, higher self. Help me to, over the course of the next couple days, let me see the areas where I am holding on to shame and I don't even realize it. And then when it comes up in your field, your job is to hold white light on it, clear it. Okay, there are many different ways to reprogram yourself. They all work. You got to face and feel, honor it, right? Let it go, clear it. And then figure out what the opposite of that is, how you want to show up instead of being held back by your shame. Define what the new version of you looks like. Okay, most of us don't reach our goals because we don't clearly define what the goal is or what we need to do to get there. Define success. What does success look like? Ask yourself, what steps do I need to take to get there? Those two questions will help you reverse engineer any goal that you have. But you've got to be able to get the goal very clear first. Okay. But the goal is quite simple. It's the opposite of the version of the opposite of the way you thought, emoted, behaved when you were trapped in shame. You're self-expressed, you're happy, you're goofy, you're light, you're joyful. Make sense? Cool. Lightness of being is huge. We need to laugh a lot. Okay, we need to breathe a lot. We need to be clearing our density. Listen, if you don't find yourself at least 100 times a day saying, damn, boy, okay, I'm stressed, I'm tense, whatever. Let me bring myself back to calm. You might not be doing the work. Okay, because that's what it looks like right now. We're getting constantly triggered and invited to go back into the trauma, and we are going to be relentless with our reset until that becomes the baseline frequency. We're going to go through this intense period right now where we are constantly resetting every part of us that's stressing out, that's freaking out, that's playing small, that's going back into our old patterns, and we're going to reset into the new identity that we want, and it's going to feel shitty for a while, but eventually, with enough repetition and enough support and laughter and breath work and meditation, we shift, we change, we shed these old vibrational frequencies and these old patterns that used to keep us imprisoned. All right, that's what the work looks like. All right, send some love, black hearts across the screen for yourselves for doing a great job today. All right, I promised that I had something for you at the end. For those of you who want to talk more about what it looks like to read your Akashic Records and what is at stake for you, I don't do this very often at all. And I am opening up time on my schedule. Is this that? I don't know. Let's see. Is that the right link? For you to hop on a 30-minute discovery call with me. I have no idea what that link is. All right, let me go do it a quick take two here, guys. Take two. All right, let's pop this one in here, see if this works. Yep, that one is it. All right, so for those of you who are serious about learning how to read your Akashic Records and you want to know what life can look like on the other side, I am opening up my schedule for you. I'm going to encourage you to hop on a 30-minute discovery call where I will ask you a series of questions that will help both of us understand, not only you, but me too, what it is that you want to create in this life. You are here for powerful purpose. You have the potential to do it. Let's figure out what it looks like for you. Okay? That's the purpose of this discovery call, is figuring out what your highest potential timeline can look like. We're also going to get gritty about figuring out what's standing in your way. And we're going to come up with a plan to solve it. All right. So if you are ready for that plan, this is your time to hop on my schedule. Thank you all so much for being here. If this has served you, I also want to invite you to share this out, like, subscribe, stay connected, because we are committed here to bringing you empowerment, practices, and community that will help us get through, not only get through this challenging time, but really to thrive. So we are designed to thrive. All right. I love you all. I'll see you back here again next week.
The Akashic Records hold all information, past, present, and future, and are available to assist you now.
Do you seek answers within yourself but don't know if you can trust your intuition? Do you desire positive change in life but feel unsupported by others? Do you suffer from failure to execute but have hit your point of enough? Not only have I been there, but I have found my way out, and so can you. The Akashic Records are your key to understanding any area of stagnation and hold solutions to your greatest challenges. My mission is to teach you everything I know about the Akashic Records, how to use them with mastery, while always staying in beginner's mind, which will keep you humble yet powerful. It's all within you. Come, let me show you.
What have I gained from the Akashic Records? Reading the Akashic Records has strengthened and deepened my intuition, and at the same time allowed me to build a deeper connection with the inner wisdom of my gut and my heart in order to be able to support and challenge the decisions that I've made in my head.
Learning to read the Akashic Records helped me to cultivate the courage and the knowledge to start a new business. It helped guidance become clearer. It helped me become more confident for my entire life moving forward.